Valve, I think it is about time that free-to-players get their chat functions back. It has been years since any new player who doesn't want to spend money in this game has been able to actually use the in-game chat. In fact, they can't even call for a medic as it stands right now, and frankly, that's not okay. Today's video is sponsored by PubG Mobile, a game I'm sure you've all heard of as it is one of the most popular free-to-play Battle Royale mobile games in the world. PubG Mobile has been downloaded over 1 billion times and has over 50 million daily active players. PubG Mobile also regularly collaborates with some really amazing brands such as Spider-Man No Way Home, Jujutsu Kaisen, a popular K-pop group Blackpink, and even Lamborghini and Tesla. Meaning you can use all of this stuff to customize your characters. PUBG Mobile also has a game mode called Ancient Secrets Arise, available to play on the Erangel, Miramar, and Livik maps. In this new game mode, a path highlighted with gold will be visible during every match with a temple visible at its starting point. Further down the path, you open up multiple portals as the temple gets closer, and you can actually enter these temples using these portals, and you can gain access to a massive amount of loot, but only if you're able to beat the Guardians inside. There's also a bunch of different features with Ancient Secret Arise as well, such as the Sandstorm Zone, where there is a bunch of supplies, and you can also get the mysterious Scarab Charm, which gives you a second chance to get the win. There is a sand giant that roams around the map, and if you land on his back, you can discover loads of treasure there. And finally, there's also the Scorpio crates, where you can defeat the golden scorpions guarding those crates, and you can get even more valuable supplies. Ancient Secret Arise runs from July 11th to September 12th. So make sure you download PUBG Mobile using the link in my description to make sure you get to experience this incredible game mode. Now back to the video. Let's rewind a little bit first though to give you all the context you'll need if you haven't been playing TF2 or you really haven't been around the community that much in recent years. In around March of 2020, TF2 was suffering with attacks from malicious bots known as lag bots. They would join as many servers as possible and basically overload the server, causing it to crash. And they did that over the span of a couple of days, which basically meant if you saw one of these bots in the server, then you may as well leave because the server's going to die in a second anyway. Luckily, Valve actually fixed this problem pretty quickly, you know, over the span of a couple of days. That's not terrible for when we expect Valve to fix things, but very shortly after the lag bots got fixed, the real bot invasion began. Servers began to be overrun very quickly with cheating bots who would headshot everyone the second you ran in front of them. And to kind of act as the catalyst for all of the pain that free-to-players have been going through these past few years, these cheating bots were filling the chat with racial slurs, a bunch of other stuff that you don't really want to read while playing a silly hack game. So, to counter this, Valve has revoked any new or free accounts access from posting a message in the chat, since most of these bot accounts were brand new and mass created to fill servers and cause as much chaos as possible. This seemed like maybe not the perfect solution, but an okay temporary one, yet the civilian casualties included every single free-to-play TF2 player in the game. Even if you had played thousands of hours of TF2 but never spent a penny, you can now no longer use the chat function. Now, you might want to question why Valve actually did this, since we have chat filters which block words that we don't like, and we also have this handy little button that just completely turns the chat off if we don't want to see it. Well, the thing is, until about the last year or so, we didn't actually have those features. So while these bots were running around in server spamming whatever they wanted to and trying to offend as many people as possible, unless you knew the specific command to make messages show up for 0 seconds in the chat, you kind of had to just sit there and see that on your screen. And that doesn't make Valve look very good, leading to a quick and probably pressurized fix of removing the chat from those accounts. It seems crazy that for over 10 years, a big game like TF2 has never had chat filters for bad words or even an option to turn the chat off, especially given that being overly toxic in chat is not a new TF2 problem. But either way, these features exist now to allow players to avoid that kind of stuff should they want to. You can leave it on and you can turn the chat filters off, but the features are there for the people who don't want to see it. And even with all of these features now in place to stop you from being able to read chat if you don't want to, free-to-play players are still unable to actually use that chat. I definitely think now that Valve has those features in place to protect maybe the younger TF2 players, that it is now a good time for them to reinstate free-to-play's right to even talk in this video game. A lot of players have been very vocal about this change and how annoying it has been for free accounts since the day the change was made. And I agree. I think it's ridiculous that they still can't chat. The TF2 chat is a fundamental part of this game, and without it, your experience is a lot different. Especially as a new player who doesn't understand the game fully yet. You can use it to communicate with your team, ask questions if you're confused and other people in the game are being nice to you, and this change even stopped new accounts from being able to call for a medic when they really, really need one. How many free accounts do we think have stood there staring a medic in the eyes, spamming the E button, trying to call, but nothing is being said in the game because they haven't spent $5 yet? How many more people need to die at medic's feet? Now, I do agree that reinstating the chat functions of every account is going to increase the amount that the bots try and start filling the chat again. However, Valve have also made some changes to stop people flooding the chat the way the bots have been doing it before. So there's even more countermeasures in place to stop the bots from doing really anything with chat. In fact, Valve have basically stopped the bots doing anything except actually cheating. I'd love for free-to-play accounts to be able to get their chat back. I don't think it's right that they should be basically locked out for not wanting to spend $5 on a game that is meant to be free. I have always loved that TF2 has been a game where whether you're playing it for free or you're actually spending money on the game, you get the same experience regardless. And I think that not allowing free-to-players to use chat is really hindering that kind of view of the game. It's hiding a very basic gameplay feature behind a paywall now, and I understand the reasons that they initially made this change, but the fact that they haven't changed it back already for me is a little bit weird, especially with the fact that they've already made a bunch of changes to chat to counter the bots even further. Now, I'm not going to go out here and say Valve are doing it just to make a bit more money, because let's be honest, the amount of money from people spending $5 in TF2 so they can chat again is nothing comparable to what they're making from CSGO, Dota, and all of Steam. They don't really need this extra money. But anyway, that is pretty much all I have to say about it. I would love to hear what you guys have to think. Do you think Valve should reinstate chat for all free-to-play accounts? I know basically any free-to-play watching this right now is probably going to agree with me. But if you're a long-standing player, you've spent a lot of money in the game, and you've been around the community for a while, I also want to know what you guys think. Do you think it's the right time for Valve to add chat back? Or do you think they should wait until the bots have fully gone first? I mean, that could be years, but do you think that that is what it takes and it's a worthy sacrifice? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to try and read every single comment on this video, reply to as many as I can. Also, while you're down there, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.